All right, so tell me a little bit about this draft.
Well,
Okay.
the first game we lost to a bit of a wombo combo,
Okay.
Zeratul and Stitches, and so we banned both those before the second draft,
Okay.
and we got them into a more traditional comp.
Fair enough. All right. And so this was a second match then?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay, cool. So Infernal Shrines, I'm assuming you guys locked Diablo pretty early on. Let's see. Do you remember what the pick order was for all these heroes?
I can check it.
I believe it was early Kael'thas, then Tyrande Diablo,
Mm-hmm.
and Junkrat Tyrael last for us since we were
Cool.
Galf and I usually wait towards the end to decide which of us is
Okay.
off-laning.
So I like this draft in the sense that you guys have a lot of objective control with these three heroes in particular. Just a lot of spread AoE damage and threat. I think you guys scale really well into the late game. Um, yeah, this comp really is super strong after level 10. I think. Let's take a look at what you guys are up against. You're up against Hanzo, Dahaka, Lucio, Orphea, and Arthas. All right. So, also, I'm just curious, what was the thought process behind the Tyrael pick here?
Tyrael I've just been doing very well with lately.
Cool.
I use him to basically zone backline and then pop back towards the front,
Mm-hmm.
throw some shields, and then go back to dive into backline and team fights.
All
I
right.
feel like I can survive in a solo lane situation fairly well.
And did you have sanctification for this game?
I believe I actually went Judgment on this one.
Okay. All right. I guess they do have the Lucio, so that could get some value there. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. No, I like it. The only thing that I would mention is that whenever you're taking a Tyrael or a second tank in the off lane, you're doing it expressly for the purpose of having stronger group team fighting, because you're not going to gain anything in the solo lane specifically with one of these types of off lane picks. There are certain matchups that you can win with Tyrael, but you're not supposed to win most of the matchups. It's mostly just so that you don't die and that you provide really good team fight potential. So as far as the team fight potential, I think this is actually pretty even match. I think that both teams have very strong drafts that can deal with one another. I think that you guys are definitely potentially more late game scaling. I think that if you guys can make it to level 20 especially, then you guys should be straight up winning based off of the late game power. But early game, it's really tough, honestly. I think you guys are, it's really a 50-50 matchup. And so they do have the Dahaka, which is the global. So they have a slight advantage purely based on the global, which means you guys can't play too aggressively. You can't go for camp invades all the time. You have to either get a pick before you go for that, or yeah. So anyway, is there anything in particular you guys want me to focus on? Any particular aspects?
I don't know if there's anything on particular. Just looking to see what you had to say.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get into this. All right. Still think the sound is a little too high. All right. So the very first decision you guys have to make is, do you guys want to take a team fight in the very early game in the mid for the first clash, see if you can get the first wave clear? I do think you guys have much better wave clear just in the very first opening, just because Hanzo doesn't have his level 4 talent yet. So I think you guys can step up here. They do have a Lucio that can potentially try and chase you a little bit, but there's not that much room to chase, so I think this is perfectly fine.
I think we talked about that originally, was that we can get first clear pretty easily.
Yeah.
And whenever I'm playing Diablo, I don't really like to fight early before I'm stacked.
Sure.
Because he's pretty squishy.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think just because of the fact that you have so much superior wave clear early game, I think it's pretty safe to do so. But I agree that with Diablo, you don't always want to fight right away. One thing you guys could do is stall the minion wave a little bit by body blocking it, all 5 of you. Essentially just walk with the minions and just walk right in front of them, try and body block them. What it does is it causes them to clash like right here instead, which is a lot safer and easier for you guys to clear, get your globe and everything, and rotate out. That's what you do if you don't want to fight, essentially. You want to wave clear, but you don't want to fight.
Okay.
All right, so Tyrael goes directly to lane. So this is not super fast. This is a very passive, slow approach. You're going to end up missing a little bit of soak probably from this. And this is important when you want to dictate the speed of the game, the pace of it. So I guess you guys are looking for the pick here since they stayed several people here and only have one here. So is there a way that this becomes a kill? So you have the Diablo Tyrande combo, so you do want to be able to charge, flip, and then stun. But your damage is pretty far away. This, I'm going to say it's a 60%, 65% chance of getting a kill. Let's see. Charge, flip. Okay, so yeah, right off the bat, when you're playing Diablo Tyrande combo, it's very important to be extremely consistent as the Diablo, because when you charge with Tyrande, it's really hard for the Tyrande to respond with the stun if it's not predictable. So you have to be charging and immediately flipping, like shift clicking it, so that it's the opposite side of where they got charged to the other side. So that Tyrande stun was actually placed correctly based on the charge location. But if you wait a little bit and for her to walk to the other side and then flip for the positioning, it's almost impossible for a Tyrande to follow up. So I understand why you go for that, because when you're playing not with a Tyrande, that's exactly what you want to be trying to do, is get those body blocks. So yeah, 100% that's a kill if we get that combo down actually.
Yeah, this was me. I didn't mount. I ran on foot for some reason, and that's what kill.
There's always several different things that can go differently, of course, but yeah. Definitely want to practice that combo, make sure you have it down. Camp is available. This needs to be cleared, but you don't need 4 people to clear this. I'd say rip your camp as soon as possible, have 1 or 2 people deal with this, and then make sure you're catching soak. Oh, don't leave now. Okay, so yeah, you guys are gonna miss almost an entire wave of soak just purely based on not realizing that, like, you know, the new wave has just arrived and that needs to be stayed for. So I'm happy to leave 1 person here, probably Junkrat, but this camp also needs to be taken. So they start their camp. I think you guys can take your camp faster than they can purely, at least early game. Their heroes are not great camp takers. You guys have great camp takers. So yeah, we miss a lot of soak right here. They do too, so I guess it's not too bad. So we have the Sentinel Arrow giving vision of the Bruiser, but I think it's a little too early for them to go for Bruiser. If they had something like a Greymane or an Illidan or a Sonya, then maybe this, because I like this, but otherwise better to just use it on this camp, which is just so that you know that they can't invade. You want this vision right here. I'm glad that you're sitting in the bush here as Diablo here, just not giving that vision. Okay, so you have vision of them on bottom. Good, checking for the camp. Okay, so we get this clear. Do we go for this? I think you guys can go for it. Yeah, you have all 4 down here. You have vision of 2 here. This is perfectly fine. Alright, this is really important. I want to see Diablo basically staying in this bush in the moment that this Arthas tries to step forward. Okay, he doesn't step forward enough. Close. I think you were trying to flip him into there. Yeah. Okay, a little bit of anti-synergy going on with their combos, but the main purpose was to get the camp. I do think it would have been nice to go for a kill here, since you had all 4 bodies down here and they had only 2 to start with, and Lucio rotated. So I think that's a little bit of hesitation. You guys can absolutely get a pick right here just because you see that it's 2 versus 4. The camp is like something you'll get regardless. If you get the kill, you get the camp as well. So, and you guys can absolutely kill an Arthas with all of your CC plus Tyrande trait. Mid still needs to be soaked. So I think you guys are spending a lot of time staying together as 4, which is particularly good when you're playing with like a Johanna who can like really fast wave clear and keep ahead and make sure you don't lose any soak. With Diablo, it's not quite as easy to do that, and you have 2 heroes that are very solid wave clear, so it's very okay to have one, presumably Junkrat because it's the safest, to be the one that takes care of whichever lane and then joins the group for moments, essentially important moments. Because so far you have missed at least a full wave, if not more, which it does make a difference. You guys are still ahead of them, but you guys could be level 6.25 right now. Okay, first objective is available. So they have the Dahaka up here, so they're going to be able to come down at any time. They see that Tyrael is still here, so this is a little bit risky. If I'm the other team, I'm saying, all right, Tyrael's up there, let's go, dig in. This doesn't really need to be cleared, it's fine, so let's see what goes on. As far as for you guys, what you really want to be doing is, yeah, getting ahead on the shrine, getting ahead on the objective, because of the fact that their shrine clear is not as good as yours. You want to be doing that while staying very safe. So it's very, I love this right here. This is amazing. This one is decent, but it should be even further to this side, just because that's where Dahaka wants to dig. He wants to dig on a more aggressive route. So really good play here from Junkrat overall, though, just to have these bushes very well mapped. And you guys are getting nicely ahead so far. Try and time your abilities together when possible. So usually these little shrine minions, they take 2 different AoEs to kill. So if you have 2 heroes with strong AoE, try and pair them together. So you get a flame strike plus a grenade, or a living bomb plus anything. All right. So yeah, they stole a little bit here just because we didn't quite pair it up. So Dahaka doesn't seem to want to dig. So you guys have Tyrael here now. You guys are slightly ahead. I don't like this. So once again, this is a matter of understanding your win condition. In this particular case, in the early game, your win condition isn't to win the team fight. Your win condition is to out shrine clear and stay alive, right? If they want to try and force a team fight, they have to chase really hard and potentially try and go into towers, which they shouldn't be able to do. But going into an Arthas with Diablo is pretty risky, just because if you don't get the kill on him, then he's got a permanent slow on you. You'll never get away. Oh, they boop you away. I lied. Sounds good. All right, Dahaka's here now. Tyrael is clearing mid. I think that you can forego this soak here and make sure you finish the shrine. You guys are ahead on it, but not by that much. So I would like to see you guys commit to it. It's pretty important for you guys to win the early game shrine clear, I think. So you guys go for the tap first, okay, because KT's But that's giving them a lot of time to catch up and pull ahead, actually. Okay. Tyrael goes in a little bit sooner than everybody else is ready. They don't really punish that, so that's fine. But they are now 6 ahead of you guys, just purely based on you guys taking the time to go tap. So this is the situation you don't want to be in, right? Because now you're forced to win a team fight in order to try and win, and it's so easy for them to get 4 in the midst of that team fight. So let's see if you guys can get a kill, though. So you guys don't quite secure the Arthas, but once again, so they get the objective, right? And I think it's almost guaranteed that they don't get that if 2 things didn't happen. 1, if Diablo doesn't charge Arthas right here, and 2, if you guys don't go for the tap at that moment. I think even though you had KT at very low mana, honestly, I'd rather have him stick around and use his trait for living bombs on cooldown, and just make sure you stay ahead of the shrine clear. I think that's probably... What the heck? Hold on. I have a stream in the background, just went to something. All right. So... Alright, so you lose the first objective. Once again, you guys do scale better into the late game, so it's not the end of the world. This is a little bit of a mistake. You do want to bait it over the wall. As soon as the Punisher exits the shrub, essentially, that means you have to walk around the safe way to avoid vision. But it doesn't look like they're pushing with it. Okay, they had to back, that's why. I'm not sure why we have 2 people here. I mean, Tyrael's headed up to the top to soak, that's fine. but I would only keep one person here, if even that. Ideally, in this situation, you want to have your solo laner able to double clear, double soak, but Tyrael's pretty bad at double soaking. He's not very quick at it, so I understand having probably Junkrat here. KT, got to be in the bot lane. Have to clear this. Make sure they don't get too much of a push value. Because these this does damage, but these minions also do a fair amount of damage. So having a KT here to clear these minions is going to seriously mitigate how much damage you guys take. Okay. DPS has arrived. But I think you guys lose the wall for sure. Alright. That still needs to be caught. Fine, so your camp is available. So this is an awkward situation where you have two really good wave clearers and they're trying to check vision and whatnot, and you have two really bad wave clearers trying to wave clear. Definitely don't want to do that. You always want to be providing the most value that you can to your team in your role. So either one of these heroes has to be the one who's staying here to catch the soak, and so that allows your tank to face check the vision and make sure you guys are able to move out on the map. This needs to be caught as well. Yeah, looks like you guys are going to miss that. So this is just another situation where you don't need 4 people to do this. You definitely want to keep soaking, at least until level 10. You don't want to miss any soak if possible.
I think there might have been a little bit of nervousness on our part in this game.
Absolutely.
The game we lost in game 1 was the first one we had lost in the season, and I think we're playing a little bit scared.
Got it.
Through the first part of the game, but I agree that we don't need 4 people to take.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you know, they do have Dahaka, so if they go for an invade, that's obviously something you have to be careful of. But you have Tyrande Owl, so anytime you're going for a camp like this, if you just send an owl, you know, anywhere along this path or this path or this path, you'll probably have a good idea of whether or not they're attempting to invade. And Dahaka alone obviously can't just dig in; he has to have his team with him. So it's very safe if you have that vision. And then, yeah, you just don't want to miss the soak. So we go for this pick down in the bottom, but I don't think you guys had the synergy. Okay, well, it connects, but he gets out. Okay. So another thing really quick is going for picks is great, but you always want to, typically you want to have the wave clear done first, at least with a composition like this, just because the minions can be quite annoying, blocking skill shots, like it can block gravity lapse and Junkrat mines and things of that nature. So you guys should be focusing on getting ahead on wave clear and rotations, and then looking for picks if that's available. So they go for this bot camp. You guys are hard pushing mid. This is okay as long as you know that they're doing this. Fine. Yeah. So you have the vision. I would potentially try and push this out a little bit. They have to come respond to this lane, and that allows you to then come deal with this lane. It's pretty fair trade. Okay, you just have Junkrat go bot to clear. It's a little risky since there's no wall. You guys go for this camp. This is a little early. I don't think you had to do this. I mean, you definitely want to time this with the spawning of the objective. Even though it's top, it's not ideal. Just having it in the lane though is still quite nice as a. It's just an added zoning tool, sort of. It's a place where you're not allowed to fight as much. Like if you have the camp pushing this lane and they don't, then it's hard for them to take the fight in the lane. They have to take the fight up here, or they have to clear it so that it doesn't do some tower damage before the objective. Obviously, ideally, you want this camp to be timed when it's in the bottom side of the map instead, but can't have what you want all the time. So one other detail is that they're going to get a much better timing on this purely because of this right here. If you guys take this cap, I wouldn't necessarily capture it. I would leave somebody near it to cap it, but you don't want to capture it right before they capture theirs, because what that's going to do is it's going to cause it to clash right here, and they're going to get a free clear of it, and then theirs is still going to be available to them because it's going to be so close to their towers you can't clear it. Okay, you got the vision of it. So now that you have this information, what can you do? You see that they have 3 people up here, 1 person up here, that's their global. Honestly, what I'd love to see is you guys all rotate to the bot lane and try and get some towers down here. I think you have time to do that. Tyrael just needs to play safe up top. Maybe get this kill. Oh, okay, timing is a little bit important for this one. I'd like to see you go for the wall stun against this wall. He has
I didn't
to.
think I could get it with
He
how
can.
far away he was.
Yeah, let's see. I think that it's possible to get it because he has to get closer to use his trait. He has to get to like here to use his trait, and more importantly, as he's running towards the wall, you can interrupt the trait. Even if he presses it, it's interruptible. So the only way he can avoid getting traded, or sorry, the only way he can avoid getting wall stunned is by running into the Diablo and then trying to run away, because you can't slam him against the gate. But most Hanzos won't do that. They'll panic. All right. So nonetheless, even though you don't get the Hanzo kill, I still want to see you guys push this down here, since you know that they had 3 people up here. You guys have 10 advantage for a short amount of time, but you can't really force before that happens. So push this, get some towers down here. No. All right. So yeah, I definitely think this is the right play, just because you have a slight macro advantage, essentially based on rotation right now, and there's nothing else to do. There's nothing else to gain. So having 1 person soak mid is fine, but you might as well push bottom and get a wall for free. Meanwhile, top lane, as I said, Tyrael has to play safe because you had the vision of the 3 of them up here, and you know Dahaka's up here, so he's got to play safe.
I think the idea there was that we didn't want to trade bot wall for top wall, since the objective is about to spawn top.
Right. Fair enough.
So we started coming up.
Yeah, I think that I think you guys had enough time to do the wall. If you do it immediately, you have enough time to do the wall and then rotate and catch them and potentially take a team fight before the objective even spawns, and you're taking it right here, which is great for you guys, even if they're trying to take your wall. Because you saw that they had just started the camp, essentially, and they had 3 people on it when you guys were all here, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But I understand your what you're saying. I mean, I think that in general, it's not good to trade, structures if the structure on the opponent side is the same one that is spawning the objective. Totally correct logic. I just think that there was a timing difference. Like, you guys had 10-second head start, and that's enough to buy you the free wall and them not the free wall. So you guys do have the chance to clear the objective for free, which is really good. Sitting bush, this is fine. You do have to be a little bit careful when you're sitting bushes as Diablo specifically, because Diablo doesn't have escape tools that like Muradin or ETC or Nubrak have. If Arthas walks up into you, he could keep you here. I guess you could charge over the wall to a minion. That's your escape, but just have to keep that in mind when you're playing Diablo. Okay, so you guys are looking for this. Oh, the boop. Damn. Good boop. They did show Hanzo down here. Okay, so you guys, this is up in 7 seconds. You can't burn it right away. Okay, sure. I guess this is anticipating the Dahaka.
I actually do it more for vision warding.
So if it's for vision, then I would probably do it in this, either this here and here. I would do the root in the bush so that they don't see the root, and I would do the knockback over here.
Yeah.
just because, I mean, this is if they didn't have a Dahaka. So you're doing a good thing here. This is not a bad thing to do. But in general, against other teams that don't have a Dahaka, these are the 2 bushes you probably want to cut off, and you can have Diablo or your tank sitting in one of these bushes, or anyway. And
then the ping I put down there that's on the screen, I think, was me telling Static that's the one I don't have covered.
Yeah, totally. Awesome. I love it. Good communication.
Our healer just came on. Are we able to add her to the call?
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys, can you guys grab them in? We got it. We got the healer.
Yeah, thank God.
Awesome.
Sorry.
Cool. All right, so you're on Toronto this game?
Yes.
Awesome. The only thing I mentioned so far with regard to the Tyrande was in this bottom situation, the very first pick attempt you guys have on an Orphea right at level 1. Diablo charges, waits to flip a little bit, and then flips, and so you miss your stun. So you placed yours perfectly. You placed it based on the charge location, which was correct. I just mentioned that when you have Diablo Tyrande, you want to make sure that you know exactly what each other wants to do. Essentially, you know what the Diablo is going to do before he does it, because it's very hard to follow up if not.
Usually we've been doing it I mostly take Malevolence, so I try to get a auto attack value in between.
I see.
Almost every time, so that's the timing that we've been working on.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, so here we go. We have an APOC into the wall stun. This is pretty good. Yeah, I like this. And this was on, I can't quite see which hero that is. That looks like Hanzo. That's a great target. Fantastic. Nice follow-up with the Flame Strike and the ulti. Riptire is good. Alright, so at this point, I'd like to see you guys not hard chase. I'd much rather have seen this Judgment go off on the Arthas that's out of position, who got knocked out, instead of down here. Because really, in this situation, and in a lot of situations, people are looking for get as many kills as possible, when the correct response is winning the objective safely now that we've gotten kills. Because they can't really stay in contest, otherwise they'll lose more kills. If you chase here and potentially die, let's say you get dragged into towers or whatever, then you might lose the advantage you've already gotten. Okay, so we do get the Arthas kill. We don't get the Lucio kill. That's okay, though. We just want to make sure we burn this as soon as possible. The question you guys have to ask yourselves now is, do you want to stall it at 39 for any reason?
That is not something we've ever talked about doing before, but you're right. that should be on our thought. It shouldn't be an every time thing, but it should be on our minds. Anytime
where you have this many and they have this many, you always ask that question, because it's very easy and very safe to do so. There's no risk, because it takes about 20 to 30 seconds of all 5 people being there to clear it that quickly. So if they only have one down, you can just bank it and have it stored as a free objective that you can time with objective or with camps, with a talent tier lead, etc., etc. So what I'd like to see in this situation is actually you only have one person doing this right now, with maybe Junkrat or KT, and then the rest of you guys start pushing this wall. Get this wall down, start peppering it down. They still have 3 people up, but I don't think that's enough to prevent you guys from taking, at the very minimum, 1 tower and maybe a side wall. What that does is it makes this push a guaranteed fort. The walls are the most effective thing at preventing the Punisher from doing a large amount of damage, because if they jump over the wall, the enemy team can clear it pretty safely, while you guys are stuck on the other side trying to clear a wall. So taking down part of the wall, if not the whole wall, is really important right now. That's one alternative. The other is Tyrael goes off to double soak, you guys finish the objective, and you get a small experience advantage, and that's about it. Those are the 2 options. If I'm the enemy team right now, I would consider going for an invade on your camp right now. That's what I would do if I was on the enemy team. And that looks like what they're doing. So yeah, so the main problem is that because you guys are all clearing this. You haven't done any damage yet to this, but because you're doing this all together, you get it sooner than you would have otherwise. That's fine. They're going to grab this camp, but they're going to, as soon as you see this captured, it's essentially telling your team that you guys can push really hard. So that they're actually quite late on doing this. If they wanted to do this, they needed to do it. They need to do it immediately. I feel like they must have waited a little bit too long. Nobody's baiting it over, so you guys are very safe right now. This is where you guys want to really run it in. We don't have APOC available. We don't have any of our ults available. So that's... We don't necessarily have to look for a fight. Oh, okay. Okay, so there was 1 or 2 options here where I think you guys could have guaranteed this kill. Do you still? Oh, so close. So there was one moment where there was a frozen Punisher ring right here that you could have charged and flipped him, and that would have guaranteed that he got hit by it, and you're in position to body block him. But nonetheless, I don't blame you guys for not playing too aggressive. This guy was out of position, but yeah, this is fine. You have Tyrael down here to clear, double camp. Wow, they did both of them. I didn't notice them doing this one. I thought they would only take this. That's why they're so late, I guess. Charge flip. We have a KT stun. Yeah. Oh, so close. Do we have Living Bomb here? Yeah, Living Bomb's available. I'm not sure why we didn't use it there. Okay, still alive. I gotta, hold on. How do I get out of this? I can't zoom out. There we go. Alright, so the Punisher's pretty much dead. Time to leave. You guys get the fort and most of a keep wall, which is pretty good. It's pretty darn good, honestly. But it came at the cost of losing these 2 camps in the mid, which Tyrael cleared very safely, and nobody died. So this was a very successful, good play on your guys' part.
Yeah, that was our major concern, because that was kind of what led to our last defeat, was overstaying our welcome.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. It's the silent killer. So you guys are very close to 13, but they're on the same exact talent tier, so there's not much for you guys to be doing here. I don't think you guys really want to force. I think the only thing that's available right now on the map is the bot camp, so I would have rathered you guys rotate that direction and maybe look for a bush gank on rotation that they have. Like if you go around the safe way and then run into this bush, try and catch people rotating down for this bot camp, that's possible. Or you just go for the camp itself. Trying to bait, I guess.
Yeah, we were trying for it.
Oh, so close. So close. Yeah, it's a good try. I don't know if I would go for the APOC necessarily. I would just go for the Tyrande stun on probably the Hanzo. So the charge flip without a wallbang. You don't need the wallbang with Tyrande stun, but you just gotta know that that's what you're going for. As soon as you do that, you follow it up with the KT stun, and then if it's a squishy, it's dead. Yeah, I think the APOC is, you should reserve that for the big team fights, not for the picks. Okay, this is where it could get ugly. KT's a little bit out of position, but he has his armor still. Okay. Still have the drag. Tyrael is in a bit of trouble. Yeah, Tyrael's dead. Okay, so we ripped some of our ults. So yeah. Let's see, what did we use? We used everything. Oh, okay. I didn't realize we used everything. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this. I think this kind of all stems from the fact that you guys went for a pick starting with an APOC. If you go for the pick without using an ultimate, it's much better for you guys because you still have it in the case that they try and force on you. So what they did is they said, oh, APOC's down, let's fight. Which worked out pretty well for them. They get this Tyrael pick here. As a general rule, whenever you're using any sort of long cooldown ultimates that are especially more valuable in a team fight than for an individual pick, for example, like Anduin, for example, his light bomb is actually a very pick-oriented ultimate. Same with like Mephisto's Durance, right? These are very short cooldowns that are very good for single target picks. So it's fine to use those when you're looking for picks, but the longer cooldowns like a Void Prison, Apocalypse, etc., those things you want to try and reserve for objectives, because if you don't have them available for objectives, it's very hard to secure the win on them. So they're not actually doing this camp right now. They get the material pick, but they don't go for it. They have 4 people down here. Okay, now they go for it. So while they're doing this, there's no reason you guys can't be harassing them, just poking them out. I think it's pretty safe for you guys to be this far out. Like, you don't want to walk into the bush, but you guys can be positioned up here. If Arthas stays around here, you can just start poking him out, because most of his team is trying to finish taking a camp. And if they try and turn and take a fight, you just slowly walk back to your base, and then you can take a fight under the base. It's very safe. Just don't get dragged. That's the only danger. All right, so we avoid it entirely. Need our clear here. Good. Good. Okay, and this camp has to be timed correctly for the next objective. That's important. Okay, so we have vision of them up here. So Tyrael's in danger right now. Don't take that teleport. Okay, they're invading. We just saw them. I'm not sure how we saw them, but we saw them. Was there an owl?
It was an owl.
Okay, perfect. Really nice.
Yep.
Impressive owls so far. Very nice.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is really dangerous for to be face checking first with the Junkrat, but it doesn't look like they're able to punish. All right. So that's down on the point. All right, here we go. So Tyrael, I think you guys need to be communicating a little bit better as far as what you're looking to do. So if you know that they're up here, then it has to be communicated ahead of time. We're going to go. We're going to take a fight right now. Because Tyrael looks like he's not quite on the same page as the rest of you guys. And if Tyrael's here at the same exact time, this could be the difference between getting a kill and not getting a kill. So it's also a different target. So yeah. Tyrael's diving the back line. You guys are dealing with the front line. Okay. All right. So intercepting the arrow is actually super nice. It's fantastic. So what happens there is, because you guys don't focus all the same target, nobody dies, but you also get the camp. So it's about a net neutral, honestly. Like, you both teams use pretty decently long ultimates, but you did get the camp, so that's all right. All right, so we go for the knockback, flip, stun. There's no more damage though. Oh, okay. That's fine. That's their ultimate. All right, camp is available. They have to deal with this already, so immediately Tyrael has to come down here and start racing with this. This is very important. So they have to be clearing this, otherwise they might be doing this right now. It's unclear. I'd probably Tyrande Owl this and then immediately start burning this. Do we have Tyrande Owl right now? Yeah. Yeah, so you guys are getting the advantage. So right now it's almost guaranteed that they're on this, probably 3 people. You just want to have the... yeah, there you go. Boom, right there. Okay, so yeah, what that owl does for your team is it allows them to know exactly when they can expect the enemy team and from what angles. Diablo doesn't have to try and, sit in a bush or get vision. You already have it. So you guys can absolutely erase this. And once again, same situation as before. You guys are ahead on the rotation. You have a macro advantage, and so you're able to clear this faster than the enemy team. So it's very important for you guys when you get ahead on the objective not to be focused on winning a team fight, but be focused on playing it more passive, forcing them to force on you if that's what they want to do. Otherwise, they just slowly lose. They still have Dahaka, so this is definitely threatening from these 2 angles. We still have a steel trap, so I'd like to see a steel trap either down here or behind you. Probably not there, probably down here. We still have Riptire. don't forget, Riptire can be used very effectively purely for the objective. Very useful. Usually does a lot of damage to the heroes, but it also gets like 10 plus cleared. So it looks like you guys are going to get this regardless. 2 more. Uh-oh. Okay, so we have a... Can't even select somebody else. That's awkward. I can't see what's going on right now. It looks good. All right, we get the objective, but we lose Tyrael in the process. So I think that has to do with just not playing quite passively enough in this situation. I don't know if... I can't tell if you got dragged or something, just because of the isolation, but I'm going to go ahead and guess that if you guys... You see that you're so much ahead on the objective, you guys can posture closer to here, and KT can just fire off flame strikes and Junkrat can launch bombs over this wall. There's no way that they can contest. It's impossible, right? You guys can pick off the last stragglers of the objective very safely. They can't possibly get kills, and so it's just a guaranteed free objective. No deaths. With the Tyrael kill, all right, so you get the sound barrier, and you guys are looking for kills. So yeah, you have the Punisher about to follow up. So even though it's a 4 versus 5, this is really good. I like this. Keep going. Gets the Junkrat. That mine definitely pushes them closer to safety. Got the stun. Very, very nice. Good stuff.
No one's happy with that.
Little quick tip. Do we have the KT in here? Is that the one person we don't have?
That is one.
Yeah, he's not here.
Okay. Well, nonetheless, KT tip, when you're pushing with the objective on this situation, you want to be using living bombs actually on the gate, especially if they can't bait the Punisher, because it zones them out of this area, which is where they want to be standing in order to hit the objective. Just a little tip. It's also hard to see a gate that's on fire. People don't ever expect it, so sometimes they'll step up and take a living bomb to the face.
Yep.
All right.
Did that recently.
So we have Junkrat going up to clear top. That's the correct decision. This thing it can take a fort if you're unlucky. So definitely good to go up and clear that. But that means you guys have to be playing a little bit passive here. So your goal here is not necessarily to get the fort. I think you guys get as much of it as you can, but safely, because you're only 3 people here, and you don't have a very good disengage. Okay, yeah, you guys are playing passive. That's good. But you can be hitting this right now. You don't have to leave just yet. Yeah, so you have to leave by the time it gets to like 15-20%, but you don't have to leave. Because unless they had Sindragosa. If they have Sindragosa, then you're like, all right, get out of Dodge. Yeah, this thing's actually dead already. If you guys hit it. Okay, never mind. It's dead. Arcane Punisher OP. Cool. So you guys have the faster rotation, so you grab the camp. I love it. Go for the bottom immediately. Run to the bottom one, because they have to now clear this, so they can't contest you on the bottom one. After that, then you go for your safe one. You always want to do, just by a pure priority, theirs is better than the neutral, which is worse than the yours. That's the order that you want to do them in. If you have that luxury of knowing you can take all 3, that's the order. Because now in this situation, they can contest you on this one, 100%.
So from this point in the game on, we generally stick together as 5.
Yeah.
And I'd like to know your thoughts on that.
Absolutely. So once again, that's something that you have no choice really but to do, because of the fact that they have the global advantage. If you try and match them on the macro end of things, you'll just lose. Don't play their game, try and play yours. So since you have the judgment on the Tyrael, I think staying 5 and trying to get picks is a lot better than trying to play macro. So definitely rotate as 5, grab as many camps as you can with your 5 stack, and pressure them, force them to not to just use their global constantly in an off lane, force them to actually come in and take a 5v5 if necessary. They don't have something like Gust or Void Prism, so they can't super hard punish you guys for being pressed up like on towers or something. A worst case scenario is Dahaka digs from the backside, and that's it. They don't have anything else. They can arrow, and they don't have Sindragosa. So that's literally the only threats to being pressed up. If you're playing against a Falstad or a Zertil, don't do that, because that's where they can say like, all right, we're gonna gust you into our base and then we're gonna kill you all. Push this. Get these towers down. It's very free to do this. Just stay positioned, like have a a Junkrat mine and a grenade here or whatever. Have these two sections zoned off and then take these towers. If you guys can look for a pick right now, because you see Dahaka up here. If you guys get a pick right now, it's a free fort. So I think you guys are playing this a little bit too passively. With Diablo, you have a very large health bar. It's not actually showing me your health bar right now. That's not your health bar. I know it's not. 7,238. That's your health bar up here. You can tank turret shots for a long time before it becomes a problem. I don't know if you have... do you have Devil's Due? Yeah. So a single globe from a Devil's Due fully stacked is about 35% of your health bar. So that's like 8 tower shots, I would guess. So definitely, if you can tank the turret shots, allow your team to burn it faster, I would do that. The fort you have to be a little more careful with, because it's not just for the damage, it's also the slow. Don't want to get engaged on while you're slowed. But you have nice damage rolling. You still have all 5 here. You're pushing with this, but just very passively pushing. I'm assuming we have Ignite here. Okay, so now you're starting to tank a little bit, pushing in with the shielded minions. Yeah, this fort's already free, just like that. Now they can go for a collapse here with Dahaka. Doesn't seem like they want to, though. And they finished clearing it. Okay. So
yeah, I think we thought that it was dead anyway, so we started backing off.
Yeah. I mean, it should have been. I think you guys just played a little bit more passive than I would have liked to see you guys.
But since they showed mid, we just went and finished
it. Oh, absolutely. Certainly. Don't let that sit there. And very important, gotta get this, because this is where the next objective is. Don't want to leave this up. So that's a mistake right there. Okay, this is the danger spot. They're only showing Hanzo down here. So be careful face checking here. Okay, now we see everybody. All right, so very important that this gets taken, timed well for the objective. I would not cap it immediately, though. Try and time it. Ideally, you want to be capping this as the timer for the objective says like 20 seconds left. That's when you want to be capping it, because it gives you enough time to get to the objective and position yourself so that you're not zoned out or anything like that. But you don't want to be capping it before it spawns, because that means that it's already going to be in lane, so Dahaka is going to be able to clear it, right? So you want it to be running down this in front of your fort around the same time. Okay, perfect. Fantastic job. 20 seconds left. You guys could cap it anytime now. Anytime in the next, like, 10 seconds. You're starting to wait a little longer than I would, but okay, we're good. Sounds good. Good stuff. Setting up on the objective. So you don't have vision of them. You can't face check. This is already dangerous for you to face check. I didn't see if Junkrat face checked. I'm gonna guess not. No, you did. You did face check. Dangerous. So yeah, you want to throw a grenade into this bush right here. Just get some vision. Make sure you know where they are. Looks like, okay, Sentinel's good. Gives vision of 3. So that means that you guys need to be very aggressively pressing up right now. They have 3 people that are not here. You guys are all 5 here. You have judgment. It doesn't matter what it is. Judgment it. Start the fight right now. Because if you get a pick right now, it's a free objective. Instead, you guys look like you're going to do the same exact thing. You're just getting ahead on the objective, which is okay too. That's fine too. But at this stage of the game, I think getting a pick would be more value, I would say. Because it's early enough that they can force right now. So they have Hanzo arrow. If I'm them right now, I back up with Hanzo and shoot an arrow right here. Okay, so Tyrael is diving into the back. Judgment gets interrupted. Can he get out? Alright, we got the APOC is really nice. Good follow-up. Good amount of damage, but not quite enough. The sound barrier comes out and it's safe. So at this point, you didn't get kills, but they have to back off and heal up. So this is where you just focus on finishing the objective.
How much does your plan change on this objective specifically because it's smaller and the things clump up a lot easier?
I'm sorry. What do you mean exactly? Ask one more time.
I think that the bottom shrine is the area that the minions are in is much smaller than the other two, and the minions tend to clump up a lot more easily for AoE. Does that change your plan at all, or do you still just kind of try to do the same things everywhere?
That's a great question. It does, obviously it changes how you should play it slightly, for sure, but essentially you guys already have the same type of composition where you're looking to win the objective, not necessarily the fight. So I think that here more than ever, you do want to be focused on the objective with your AoE damage, because I think you guys, there's no way that you guys lose the objective if both of your teams are just focusing on shrine clear, if that makes sense, especially on a smaller area where AoE is more effective. The best shrine clear that they have is Hanzo piercing arrows with his explosive arrow, and it's not nearly as good as KT plus Junkrat. So I think that, yeah, this is definitely the best place for that AoE race of the objective, but it's still true for all of them. This one is the least of them, I guess, as far as AoE clearing, but yeah. So that's why I actually really liked that in this position here, you guys closed off the 3 main entrances and kind of looked for a fight instead. That was actually really nice. This is definitely too deep. Okay, so it's a trade. So it's a trade which is bad for you guys just because of the fact that they already had to back off and heal. So I'd rather have you guys stay all 5 alive, leave them all 5 alive, let them go heal, finish the objective, push with it, get the keep. That's probably how I see it right now. In this particular situation, the other reason why a trade is not ideal is because they're going to res first, not just because it's a shorter death timer, but because they only have to travel here, whereas Tyrael has to travel all the way there, right? So it's a much longer travel time as well. So trading when you're about to win the objective is really bad because it forces your team to have a potential 4v5 for a short window of time. So they have to play a lot more passive when they're pushing, which means maybe you don't get this keep. Just something to keep in mind. All right, so you catch them here, so you could potentially get more picks. Good wall stun there. Wow, that's a lot of damage on Dahaka. Yeah, that's a kill. Good job. All right. So purely based off of this right now, I'm surprised the game doesn't end. You do have 4 heroes, you don't have 5, but you have the Punisher pushing, and they have 2 dead for quite a while, and you're going to have 20 advantage in not that long. So what I'd like to see you guys do, because in this situation, I think you guys, your goal, based on having gotten that Dahaka pick, is to end the game. Anything on their team that tries to bait the Punisher should die, because you have Diablo to charge and flip and follow it up. And combine that with any other crowd control, whether it be Tyrande or KT, any of these squishies is going to die. So it's very important, I think, that you guys try and get like a sidewall down and threaten them so that they can't clear the objective safely. Let's see how this plays out. So right off the bat, I'd like to see you guys pinging this top wall and saying, let's get this vision, let's get a pathway that we can enter from. You don't even need to worry about the bottom side of the tower here. You want to get this tower and this gate, the gate first, then the tower, and threaten them so that they can't possibly clear.
The call went out for
There
wall
it
here,
is.
and actually there's the ping. I guess I didn't see the ping because KT and I both did the other wall instead.
Yeah, I see it. I think normally I'm okay with going for the bot wall in general if it's just you guys pushing, but because there's a Punisher and it's always going to path this direction, I'd rather see the top wall. So I think this is the correct call. But more importantly, it's just too late. That's why you guys don't see it, is because it's too late. If you see it before any of you even arrive, it's guaranteed that everybody sees it, right? So
we called for sidewall. I just didn't say which one.
Got it.
Once I got there, I pinged it.
Got it. Okay, fair enough. All right, so here's the stun. Is that in range? It's just outside of range. If you have this tower, this gate down, then it's within range. That's too bad. Oh man, this is a really good bait here. Is it gonna? Okay, comes back. All right. So, all right, here Diablo goes in. So I think it's important in this situation to understand what your goal is. Your goal isn't your goal is to get the keep minimum, but more importantly, you want to prevent damage on the objective. That's how you get the most possible value out of a pushing objective, is you prevent them from being able to clear it. So in this situation, you don't even need to go hard and try and get pick. You can if there's an opportunity, but really what you want to make sure you're doing is making sure that they don't stay in range to do damage. So just posturing Diablo here and having everybody else posture up a little bit, threatening, is enough that this keep is 100% guaranteed, very safe, and you guys can probably continue onto the core afterwards, because this thing only gets to 50-60% by the time the keep's dead. So going in here, I think, is not a great idea, just because you could get stuck here a little bit too long, tanking core damage and 3 heroes while the rest of your team's focusing a keep. So you have to be on the same page, essentially. That's what you're going for. All right. I'm assuming you guys decide to leave now. All right. So yeah, it's still a 4 versus 4 right now. Arthas just rezzed, and you have 20 talents to your advantage with a Punisher that's still relatively healthy. I think this is very safe for you guys to leave. So I don't know that it's something that... I guess it's because of the fact that you lost the last game and you just want to make sure you don't do any throws or anything. But I think that this is... I think leaving now might be a throw, if that makes sense. Because you're not going to have another opportunity this game to have a talent to your advantage. There's only one level for them to get before 20, and they can play it very passively sitting in their base because there's not going to be another objective. So you guys probably can take all the camps you want, but they're going to get 20 by the next objective. Once again, as I said from the beginning of the game, you guys have a stronger late game, level 20, so it's not the end of the world. But I feel like this is definitely a time where you guys can end if you execute correctly. You just have to pull out by the time that the Punishers... if you don't get a kill, you have to pull out by the time the Punisher's at like 20% or so. But okay, so you guys, I think you are very passive, don't know what to do. Okay, now you leave. Go for the camps. Oh, they did come. Okay, so this is a 20... Wow, why would they do this? Sounds good. I guess they see Tyrael in the top lane. I don't even know if they saw him. Maybe. In either case, this is a 20 talent tier fight, but it looks like a 4 versus 5. I think you could have held your that Junkrat ult a little bit longer, because the longer you hold it, the smaller the shields are from the sound barrier. So I'd like to see you try and use it also for the repositioning on the Arthas. Jump it in front of him and then use it if possible.
Yeah, my rip tires were pretty trash this game. I
think you had a couple of nice ones. Most of the time you're just using it to follow up on the APOC every time. I would have liked to see you use it. There was one time here where I think you did use it, but a little bit later than I would have liked. I think I would have liked if you used it just to finish the objective, guarantee it, and prevent the Tyrael from dying in that situation. But that's not a problem. Camps are still available. Nobody died. What else are still available? You have Judgment and you have Shadowstalk. And they have Arrow and Crushing Jaws in Isolation. Alright, free camps. This one too. At this point, definitely don't want to be isolated with Tyrael. You guys want to be five together at all times right now. Yeah, so they have vision of this right now. This is what is enabling their team to be so bold right now. Tyrael's got to be with you guys. if nothing else, just be sitting in a bush, be ready to judgment. Don't need to show. Yeah, this prevents your team from even taking this camp right now with Tyrael.
I think around that time we told them to come to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So this is a little bit of an awkward position because you guys are level 20, they're level 20, so there's no more talent to your advantage. You do have a strong 20 talent to your late game, but the only place you actually really want to fight is on the objective because that's where you have your advantage with your shrine clears being superior. Fighting in this situation, like, yeah, there's a camp that you could fight over, but is it worth it? Not really, because at this point in the game, you have all of your structures still available to you, and they have all 3 forts down and a keep down. So you have a macro advantage right now. So there's really no point in taking a risky fight that's a fair fight, if that makes sense. So the next time you guys need to fight is just on the next objective.
I think our discussion at this point in the game was we have catapults pushing bottom lane during the next objective that's top lane,
Yep.
so we just need to be safe and get to that stage of the game.
Absolutely. Yeah. They do have a Dahaka, so it somewhat negates that bonus. They do have, they're going to have catapult pressure in every lane because of the state of your base. But definitely, yeah, the bottom lane they eventually have to respond to, but with a Dahaka, they'll have that tool available to them. With that said, you can't just expect the catapults to do work on their own. You have to try and push the wave out right before the objective spawns. So I'd like to see you guys posturing towards the bottom side of the map. They still have to be clearing the other lanes because, as you can see, there's Katas pushing in other lanes. They have to clear up here. The moment that they clear up here, it's very safe for you guys to push out, look for a pick, maybe get the mid wall for free. Just, play according to vision at this point in the game. So yeah, they're showing 2 players over here. I think it's very safe for you guys to be in somewhere in this area. See, this could be a dead kill right now. That guy's dead on my screen. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because they have 3 people out this far, and I guess it's because you guys showed mid. But
I think only I showed was the intention there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you guys had shown right before this, but ideally, you guys are positioned much more aggressively on the map on the bottom side here. And if you show, yeah, you have Junkrat in the mid here, and this guy thinks he's safe. This is a fantastic opportunity to punish that mistake. But you saw Arthas down here, so instead you guys run them up here. I love this.
We saw Orphea there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is totally good. I mean, getting a single pick in the bottom lane very safely is better just because there's no risk. This situation is a 4 versus 5 where if you don't get the pick right away, Arthas is going to rotate and it's going to become a 5 versus 5. That's pretty far away from your base. So this is a little bit riskier, but nonetheless, I'm okay with it. You just have to execute it. Judgment. Okay, so I'd much rather see the Lucio. Judgment has to go out instantly on this guy, and then we follow that up with an APOC combo. Very split focus for you guys, but you guys do get the kill. Oh boy. Oh god. Please tell me that guy dies. Okay. So yeah, this is the same situation that I've been seeing a lot during this game, where there's been a split focus from you guys in team fights, where you guys get 2 targets very low, but don't kill either of them or barely kill one of them. So I think that just needs to be a lot more. There has to be better communication, better trust among you guys, where you know exactly what you want to do, even if it's the wrong target. It's better for you all of you to do it than for only half of you to do it, because then you end up in a situation where maybe neither of them dies. Let's take a look, see how the rest of this goes. Okay, so you get 2 kills right now, and they're the 2 frontliners. So that's what that means is with 2 frontliners gone, it's really hard for them to defend against a Diablo. So at this stage of the game, I think you guys can end. Like, you have 60 seconds during which they have no front line, and you can kill any one of these heroes still. I don't know. I think, I guess you don't have the upgraded judgment, so you're not going to have that available for a backline kill, but even just a QEQ into any normal stun, just basic abilities, I think you guys can get kills on any one of these squishies. So invading this camp, it's the very safe play.
I think we called to just go in.
Okay, good. Doesn't look like the game's over yet, though, so let's see how this goes. Core execution is very important, just having the right... Okay, let's take a look. So first and foremost, you want a tank to be tanking the shots. Good. Don't stack up. Don't be... take a look at their composition right now, what's left. So yeah, the primary threat to you guys is probably the Orphea. If you guys clump up too much for the Orphea, it could become a problem. So I'd like to see you guys spread a little bit along the backside with a tank tanking here and another one zoning out on this side. So yeah, I'd like to see Tyrael zoning at the Hanzo over here. Okay. I just think that you're chasing a little bit too hard. With both your tanks are chasing kills that aren't guaranteed, and your DPS are kind of still focused on the core. So this is just it's very sloppy so far, honestly. A lot of this just has to do with positioning, right? So you need to have your DPS a little bit spread so that they don't get womboed. Your tanks need to be positioned sort of zoning on both sides, and they have to come to you. You don't have to go to them, right? They have to go to you because otherwise their core is going to die. So you can let them get out of position and then go on them and try and get a kill, because getting the kill here is very important. But it's only important if they come and try and defend. If they don't try and defend, you just finish the core. You just race the core. This is a missed core opportunity for sure. All right, what do you do with this? Oh, you take the mid camp. Yeah, it's not ideal. You got 15% core damage after a double kill in the late game. Okay, can't really invade their camp anymore, so you go for this camp. Nope, you don't go for the camp. Okay, you ignore the camp. Go for a bush gank. Do we have judgment? We have judgment. You just run this guy down right now. This guy, you have vision of him. You run at him. Judgment. Wall stun. Dead. This guy's a decent target, but you gotta start with judgment. You have it. Yeah. Okay. A lot of split focus once again. I see focus on Orphea, some on Hanzo, but the biggest problem is just that by the time Hanzo gets judgmented, he's super far away. That judgment needs to go out when something's like here, so that everyone can follow up from right here. Hanzo goes down. Arthas gets stunned against the wall. So yeah, I think you're chasing for kills a little bit too much here. This is a free kill. Getting double kill right now is just fine. It guarantees the objective for free. You guys can probably take the keep before it even starts. I think chasing this kill is correct, honestly. I'm not sure if you guys let this go. Because, yeah, this is a split death. In this situation, like, you can go for the camp or the objective and guarantee that, but getting this kill right now, even if you get it 10, 15 seconds later, is very worth it, because you're still going to get the objective, and them not having Arthas is more impactful than them not having Hanzo, actually. So this is worth chasing, I would say. Just because it's a guaranteed kill if you guys commit to it. All right.
I think we were thinking that if we get the shrine, it's basically a guaranteed win and they couldn't stop it.
Basically. Yeah, I agree. So once again, this is the same sort of problem, I feel like, where you guys are committing to it as a full 5-man when you don't necessarily need to be. I'd rather see you guys have 4 people down here posturing, getting a little bit extra damage, get this tower down, start to whittle down the keep a little bit from range. You just do that while you have one person clearing. I think it's very safe to do that. And if they try and force on you, you just collapse together as 5 versus 4. You never give this camp for free in this situation. Because even with all of you on this camp, Hanzo's still going to be up in time to defend. So there's really no need to race it, right? So you just want to get as much value as you can. It's better to have this camp pushing on your side. Does look like it's going to be the end of the game regardless, so that's fine. It's a very late game Punisher. Gotta be ready to follow up. We don't have APOC, but we do have Judgment. Okay, so this is probably the only target I would not Judgment. I was gonna say just go ahead and Judgment whatever it jumps on and just all in on that guy, but Dahak is probably the only thing I would say not to do that on. You just have to Judgment something that's within the range of your damage. That's the most important thing. That's the thing that I would say has been the biggest problem so far, is that you're Judgmenting targets that are good Judgment targets, but not when they're out of position. So what ends up happening is you get caught out of position, and they can sometimes get a kill on you as Tyrael. When if you're focusing, even in Arthas, it's better because your whole team has the opportunity to follow up, and that guy's going to die.
Gotcha.
Okay, we still have all of our ultimates available. Okay. Here's the stun. Follow it up. Yeah. Okay. Ooh. It's a good ultimate from Orphea there to counter initiate. But it looks like Orphea's dead. Punisher's too strong. It's already on the core. So really quick, positioning-wise, what you want to be doing right now is you want to be splitting half of your team on this side and half on this side. The idea being that they have to clear this, so whichever way they go, you can go the opposite, just hit the core, essentially. Just the only thing you really don't want to do is be super clumped as one group, because if they wombo you guys successfully in a very short amount of time, that's the only possible way that they survive this. Alright, there it is. What did it get distracted by? Oh, Dahaka. Okay. Decent bait. Alright, so overall, this game, I would say that you guys played it, very safely, but from a position of control the whole game. Like, there was no point of this game where you guys were under any threat of losing the game. None whatsoever. So I think that's a really great thing for you guys. But I do think that you guys played it more passively than you needed to. I think you guys can be a little bit more aggressive. I think one of the most important aspects of playing this game correctly is being aggressive when you're allowed to, essentially. Whenever the enemy team gives you an opening, try and take it. What would I say? As far as the rest of it goes, I think you guys need to communicate a little bit better as far as target coordination, just making sure you're all focusing on the same target, trusting in each other, getting better follow-ups on each other's CC, and having making sure you know what the game plan is before a fight breaks out. For example, on these shrines, knowing whether or not are we going for the fight or are we going for the shrine clear? What's our goal here? How do we win the game? So overall, you guys played it very, very well from a passive standpoint. I think you guys definitely executed your comp the way that you wanted to, I suspect. The only way I feel about it is that based on your playstyle, there's no reason you couldn't have Johanna instead of Diablo, if that makes sense.
Well, that's really interesting, yeah.
Yeah, just purely based on playstyle. Are you a Johanna main or something, or?
No, I actually think that I played Joanna really poorly.
Really? That's fascinating.
Johanna was the
We've been defaulting to pretty aggressive tanks in most of our compositions.
Very interesting. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you played Diablo poorly by any means. You played it well, but I think that just based on the playstyle, the whole comp, the whole way you guys are playing, having a more defensive tank or something that is more passive, essentially, is probably more fitting to your playstyle. But if you guys are having better success on aggressive tanks, by all means, keep doing that. Do you guys have any specific questions? Things you want me to address? Any thoughts?
I don't think I have anything specific. It was really helpful learning. I think one of the biggest things that we did was definitely overcommitting to stuff. We tried to stay as 4 a lot of the time to make sure that we don't get picked off. But there are definitely times that we should be splitting more.
I think especially early game, right? So before you hit level 10, missing any soak is a big no-no. What you want to be doing is being as safe as possible, but still catching all the soak that you can. So especially with a composition like this. They also don't have that threatening of a composition in terms of picks. You have to look at their composition and say, how can we possibly get picked, right? They don't have a Maiev, a Zeratul, a Genji, and they don't have a tank that can reposition, so they don't have an ETC, Muradin, a Nubarak. So the only way that you can get picked against this composition right now is if you're way too far out on the map, because they have a Lucio speed, they can run you down, and they have Arthas slows that can run you down, or they have Dahaka dig behind you. Those are the only possible ways that you can get caught and lose against this composition as far as picks in the early game. So with that in mind, it's super, super duper safe to be positioned near your towers in this situation as a Junkrat, because you can always knock yourself away if you get rooted or something. And the rest of you guys, you just want to play with vision, out wave clear. You guys definitely out wave clear their team in the early game. So get the advantage on the wave clear, and then you can look for a pick or something on rotations. But until then, definitely don't want to miss any soak. You guys did better soaking than they did, actually, so you guys were just fine. But I did see opportunities for where it could be improved. And as far as the off lane goes, I think that, having Tyrael in this match was pretty nice. I do think that they didn't get as much value out of their Haka as they should have overall. I don't think he ever did a dig from behind to throw some chaos into your team. I think that literally never happened. So I'm not certain that, Tyrael was the perfect pick here, but I think that it worked for you guys pretty well.
I'm not sure that their solo laner plays a lot of Dahaka.
Okay.
I think that our intel going into the match, we weren't really scared of them taking him away from us because we like to pick Dahaka.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible that maybe they were thinking more of a denial pick.
Sure. That's fair. Yeah, totally. Okay. Well, otherwise, yeah, I think this was pretty solid. You guys had a nice draft. You executed it well. And yeah, that's about it. You guys have any last questions?
What were the talent choices? Was there anything that stood out as maybe we should pick this
Let's
differently,
take a
or
look.
do you think based on how we've done?
All right, so let's start from the top. Elun's chosen, Lunar Blaze, Spell Armor here. I think I would go for the Cleanse. Spell Armor is pretty nice in certain circumstances, but the Cleanse is going to be more impactful because it applies to the root, the tongue drag, and then slows.
It doesn't apply to the. It's only stuns, slows, and silences.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, not the roots.
That's why I went with the spell resistance.
Fair enough. I do think that I'd still take it for the slows and for the Dahaka drag. I think that the spell armor, I would reserve the spell armor for situations where, you can't prevent the CC from how do I explain? If you're dealing with something like a Kel'Thuzad, for example, or a Kael'thas, in those in those situations where you know where the damage is going and you just need to prevent a certain amount of it to prevent the target from dying, like due to a Pyroblast or to a Kel'Thuzad combo, then the spell armor can be really effective. But I think in a majority of games, Cleanse is going to be better for competitive purposes.
Okay.
Shadowstalk, I think, was fine. You used it at good times, I think. Got good value from it. Harsh Moonlight and Power and Shooting Star. I don't know if Shooting Star was really necessary in this composition. I don't know. I didn't see any value from it specifically, but I don't know. Toronto's level 20 is kind of based on your play style, I think, a lot of it. Junkrat, put some English. This is pretty low stacks for Taste for Explosions, but it's the right talent. Tricky Shuffles, fine. Riptire, yep. Ripper Air. So I think Ripper Air here is obviously the default go-to, but I don't feel like you guys really use the Junkrat for that purpose. Because you have... Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I wasn't motoring around the map at all. We were playing pretty scared, and I was sticking with the team for most of it.
Right. So because you don't have a global solo, after level 10, I'd almost rather you be the solo as Junkrat. There's kind of no reason for you not to be, because you're very safe with this talent. You just have to not face check bushes, and that's about it. So you just make sure you have a grenade to check the bushes, put a root down in a bush if you're not sure, and just use your rip rare to get around the map very fast, very safe, almost as a pseudo global. And that allows you guys still to stay as 4 with the Tyrael and have the judgment potential for follow-up, which I think would have been really nice just in general for the single target blow-up of your comp. I don't think Junkrat provides that much to the single target blow-up unless he's using the Riptire. So I think just purely based on basic abilities, you guys can get picks off of Diablo, Tyrande, KT, and maybe you can use a judgment as well. Like using one ultimate and getting a pick is really quite worth it. So I would have liked to see that alternative, just because you don't have the global. And then Endless Nades is great. Cannonball's great. Devil's Due, great. Souls, Malevolence, APOC, Devastating, Dominant. Yeah, all good. Lot of globes, really nice, really well done. So the living bomb spread is very dependent on how the enemy team is playing. Essentially, if you notice in the early game that they're spreading living bombs, then I think this is okay. But I don't love it as a talent that is a go-to talent. They do have Lucio, which makes it sort of difficult for them to, because they have to be sort of clumped to receive his healing and his movement speed. So that can be annoying for them. I would say I'd rather you've gone for the trait probably here. The one that gives you 2 empowered auto attacks, that it gives you more spell power. That gives you more single target blow up, which would have been nice to secure some of the kills that you guys were very close to getting. Phoenix, Fission Bomb. Oh, he's not even here. Forgot.
Yep.
Fission Bomb, Ignite. So Fission Bomb is purely taken based on Sun King's Fury, which is fine for this build, but you definitely want to have the cooldown reduction on this talent because of Ignite. Essentially, the idea is that you can have flame strikes going out every 2 to 3 seconds because of this talent on 13, if you're doing it correctly, because you can throw out a living bomb with your D and your W, and then you can throw out a flame strike, and that applies another living bomb, so you can have 2 living bombs ticking simultaneously with a third available to you if you want to, and flame strikes available every 2 to 3 seconds based on that. So it's really powerful, that build. And Master of Flames, once again, sort of cheesy. It's okay if it's getting value, but if you're getting value from it, it means that you're not against a very good team, so you should win without it. I think having the increased range on the Flame Strike would have been better just for your Ignite. Make sure you can land those Flame Strikes and get those Living Bombs up. Tyria build. So this is very much so a solo lane talent, but I don't like it. This talent, it doesn't scale well. It's pretty decent in the early game, but it really struggles to maintain relevance towards the late game. I'd much rather see, if you're picking Tyrael, going for the larger shield for your whole team. It's such a big difference having that talent and using it with not just for your heroes, but also for the minion waves that are pushing into a wall or something. It makes you a better solo laner in that regard too. You can deny Dahaka from clearing a wave with his W just by pressing your W, essentially. You can completely negate it. Divine Vigor. So you went for a very aggressive kind of smite build, kind of bruisery build. Law and Order, Burning Halo, Defense of the Angels. Yeah, okay. So this is a very bruisery, dive the backline, be annoying type of build. I don't love it, personally. I get the idea, but I feel like you're trying to make Tyrael into something that he's not necessarily the best at. Like, I'd rather see you be a more team supportive Tyrael as opposed to one-man dive comp type thing. Because this is sort of the same idea as like a Varian, right? A Twin Blade Varian, where like you want to get on something, be sticky, and make them deal with you. But Tyrael doesn't have nearly as high threat individually. There were a lot of times where you were getting on a squishy target and getting them low, but not getting them killed. Part of that has to do with the fact that they have a Lucio, so they have the movement speed to run away from you, because you have your own movement speed, but it's not quite enough to catch up to Lucio wall auto attacking. Yeah. I think that you guys could have also gone for Sanctification, but I don't think that Judgment was bad here. I think you guys used it well. You just don't.
Yeah, I actually remembered delaying the pick for a while.
In the draft.
Yep.
Okay.
The 10 pick.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I was indecisive up until the moment I needed Judgment.
I don't dislike Judgment here specifically because they don't have Cleanse, and it's really nice into Lucio. And you guys, I think you could have used it better though. I think there are a lot of opportunities where Judgment you could have been more proactive and communicative with your team, that you see the target, call it out, make sure everyone's following up on you. Because you have 2 tanks. Either one of you can call a target, but there were a lot of times where Diablo would go on somebody, and then 2 seconds later, you'd Judgment on something else completely different that was not necessarily a bad target, but the rest of the team couldn't follow up because they'd already gone on Diablo's target. Or there are opportunities where you could Judgment something to start the fight, and instead Diablo went first with a Hellgate or something, and it's just not nearly as valuable overall, I would say. I think you guys need to go at the same time, be communicative, be on the same target. Otherwise, yeah, I think builds overall were pretty good. Only ones that I would change are KT and Tyrael, probably. All right, anything else?
That's all I have.
I'm good.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah, thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you very much.
You guys are welcome. Great job on in the Heroes Lounge matches, and hopefully you guys continue to do really well.
Thank you.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.